Hey guys, so here we are for the racing league with the P3 class, and this round is going to be at the Londrina circuit in South America. 30-minute race. So I gotta be careful because we have a mandatory pit stop. I'm not sure if I'll need to change tires, or maybe refueling might not be ideal. The lobby is filling. So here we go guys, wish me luck. We are already in the qualifying session. Here I'm going to share a few things about the qualification session because there were many things that had an influence on the main race, and this was a long and useful qualification session. So this is the car that we'll be driving, the prototype class 3.
Your exit is clear. Watch the white line. Okay, Carlos. We've got 19 minutes to get a decent lap in.
Seems that there is no ghosting in this qualifying session. Here I just overtake this slower guy on my out lap.
On your right. He's still there. Right side's clear.
Seemed like a decent out lap. Now let's go for the qualifying lap. My first flying lap was already a pretty decent lap time, so I was hopeful to qualify first. Right on my second flying lap I was able to improve even more on my qualification lap. At this point I started thinking about the setup.
Sector 3 time is fast.
Track limits. So this guy in P2 seems to be doing 113 like me. I'll need to watch out for this guy. Here I ended up having a little bit of too much locking during braking and ended up having oversteer. I'm going to try now a bit with the brake bias a bit more forward because the rear end seems to be a bit unstable, and if I get those spins into some of the corners during the race, that can be very problematic. I think I can go a little bit faster if I take care of the left front.
Tap off the pace in sector 2. Behind has just done a 113.48. Okay, Carlos, you've got half your fuel left. Sector 3 times quick.
I think I need to take care of the front tires a little bit, but other than that the setup seems okay. I'm not sure. I think conditions will be slightly hotter during the main race. So qualifying is at 8 PM and the race will be at 10 PM, and the weather will change from overcast into cloudy into sunny by the end of the race, so I need to be expecting things to get a bit hotter. Not sure. I was enjoying a bit more engine braking before, but it's a bit scary because you can little by little damage the engine, especially when downshifting. I'm going to try to reduce the front camber a little bit, but I hope I don't get more understeer than I've been getting. I don't want to gamble too much with the rear end as well. For a 30-minute race, I think 26 laps should be enough. Right now I need to have a pretty low radiator opening if I really want to have a shot at improving my best lap time. In my second qualifying stint I was able to slot myself right behind the guy in P2, which was my main rival, and that gave me a bit of insight into his driving as well. With this I can take a look at how P2 has been qualifying. I'm not sure if this guy can do a faster lap than me. 1 minute 13 seconds and 2 tenths.
Behind has just done a 1:13.40. 3 laps of fuel remaining.
This will be my first flying lap on the second stint, and I was very proud of putting this lap together. So here I'm very careful to use almost all the track that I can while keeping the car as stable as possible, even though the car wants to spin a little bit.
You're a tenth off the pace in sector 1.
Here I'm actually getting some time back in my delta, and I'm able to be confident that I'm going to improve on my qualification lap time and maybe even match my current lap time that I have shared in the time attack leaderboards. I'm the current holder of the world record for this car and track combo.
Your brake temps look good.
Especially going into the braking zones, I have to always be very careful, but also when getting with power on, I need to modulate the throttle to avoid sliding too much and spinning the rear tires. I think I'm going to replicate my world record in this qualifying session.
Only 2 more laps of fuel.
I still have a tiny bit too much camber on the front tires, but I'm not sure because how the track is going to evolve will be into more temperature. Still, the left front is a little bit of a problem for me, and I hope I don't lock up too much that tire during the race, because it's the only thing that's bothering me a bit. But the setup is very asymmetrical and it's getting very unbalanced between each side for me to actually have the ideal tire patch on both sides. It's becoming a bit strange and almost uncanny. I'm not sure if I want to risk changing anything on this setup for the race or if I'm going to leave it as it is. I know that the tire pressure will go up during the race. I think this is my final setup because I was able to just do a very competitive lap time with this. So this is for 24C on the track, 30C into... Good luck, have fun everyone, and how much radiator opening. I hope I don't burn my engine this time. Okay, so let me check, everything is ready. I'm recording, hopefully. Maybe I'll need like 1 liter or 2, I can't forget. I'm going to go a bit safer with the engine radiator opening, just in case. I'm the only red Metal Moro MRX Turbo P3. It will be nice to have a few endurance races with mixed classes using this car. So session conditions, yeah, it was better for me to actually open up a bit
30 minutes.
the radiator.
Okay, Carlos, get ready. Green, green, green.
A little bit of a burnout. Careful, cold brakes. I was lucky that I had a really good start and everyone drove clean into turn 1, so right now the guys in P2 and P3 are fighting amongst themselves and I'm actually pulling away, which is very comfortable for the start of the race. I can see I'm gaining distance on the guys behind, but I'm still not sure.
Start, keep it up.
I'm going to increase the brake bias just a tiny bit.
Alright, Carlos, pit window is open.
I can't forget there is a mandatory pit stop. Even if it's just 1 second of pit stop, you must do the pit stop. I have 28 minutes and 28 liters of fuel, so let's see how the fuel will last. It seems I shouldn't have qualified in front so that I could race these guys, but at the same time I never know what to expect. Maybe these guys are
You're now in the lead.
fighting.
P2 behind is increasing. It's now 2.8 seconds. All through sectors are pretty quick.
I was very comfortable with this setup for my driving technique, and I noticed that sometimes I would not need to use as much brain power to keep up the pace with the pace of the race. so I was able to just keep driving and use the leftover my brain bandwidth or mental capacity to think about other things while also keeping focus on driving the car and paying attention to the race. Still need to watch for the engine temperature. I'm still a bit uncomfortable with how the engine temperature is rising.
Sector 2 time is good.
Here I'll be posting a lap time that is close to my best lap times during the qualification session.
That's the fastest lap. That lap time was 1:13.41. Your times are good in all three sectors.
I'm slowly pulling away from the group, but I'm not that much far ahead, so... Even though I just did a quali lap with a full fuel tank, I'm not sure if I should be pushing that hard. Here I was thinking that the rear tires might overheat when the track gets hotter, because later on the weather will open up. So the engine seems to be okay at 110 Celsius.
Quickest right now. You've just done a 1:13.78. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 1. The guy behind has just done a 1:14.00.
Having crew chief share bits of information on the radio, it's always helpful to keep perspective on the race.
The gap to Rene behind is now 4.3. You're 2/10 off the pace in sector 1.
That sausage curve. At least I didn't get any damage. But I was almost flying off the track with that sausage curve. I need to watch out for the rear tire temperature as well.
We're setting the pace. That lap was at 1:13.80.
I need to watch my brake modulation. The guy in P2 seems to be still 4 seconds behind me.
The gap to P2 behind is increasing. It's now 4.4.
Even though I'm in first and pulling ahead, I only have 4 seconds lead, so if I spin the car I might lose first place. I'm still under pressure. With my new force feedback settings, this race is a real workout. That's sausage again. I'll need to be more careful on that corner, otherwise I might bin the race and destroy the car and DNF. So the first 10 minutes seem to be okay.
Sector 2 is 0.32 off the pace.
With that much positive red delta, it means that I've lost time compared to my fastest lap on this lap, and maybe even lost a tiny bit of my advantage that I had over P2, so the race is not over and I still need to be careful. Lost half a second on that sausage.
That was at 1:14.18. Sectors 1 and 2 are 0.33 off the pace. Sector 3 times okay.
Seems everyone is settling into a rhythm.
Sector 3 time is fast. Okay, Carlos. Keep doing what you're doing. This is spot on. That's 20 minutes to go.
1/3 of the race so far so good, but I'm starting to get a bit tired and to lose a little bit of focus. Maybe I should decrease a bit the force feedback. I'm starting to lose a little bit of the edge and the pace. Maybe the force feedback is a bit too strong.
The gap behind is now 5.0. We need to find a tent in sector 2.
The tires are still pretty fresh, just not brand new, and I'm trying my best to keep focus and to keep trying to increase my distance from P2 in case I have any weird thing happen during the race, and if I need to recover, I'll have a little bit of a buffer advantage. So one of the guys got the drive-through penalty. I think if I hadn't pulled away so hard at the start, I could be in trouble by fighting with those guys during the race and losing lap time.
The place in sector 1.
I did get 1 point of damage on my engine.
The gap to Rene behind is now 6.0 seconds. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 1.
Means I have too much engine braking maybe, because the temperatures are not so hot.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel.
So my fuel calculations were right, because I have half my fuel at 15 minutes. Maybe I'll add a quick 1 liter during the pit stop, because we do have a mandatory pit stop.
That lap time was 15 minutes left. That's 15 minutes. Just keep hitting your marks. This is looking good.
Here is the part where you see me trying to adjust the pit strategy, but because the straights are not that long and I always need to keep an eye on the track, I cannot get too distracted with the pit strategy menu there. And I usually try to have some strategy already preset before the race, but this time I had a few things that I wanted to adjust, just in case I did the wrong preset. Sometimes that can happen. I think I'll take off the damage repair when I go to the mandatory pit stop.
Okay, Carlos, that's good consistency. Keep it up. We're halfway home. We estimate 10 laps of fuel remaining. Air temps increasing. It's now 27 Celsius.
I think Rene might be doing the sector 1 faster than me, 1/10 faster than me, but then I might be getting everything back in sector 2 and 3.
The gap to Rene behind is increasing. It's now 6.4 seconds. Air temperature's increasing. It's now 31 Celsius.
I'm going to set the new fastest lap.
That's the fastest lap of the race. Your lap time was at 1:13.33. Your times are good in all 3 sectors. Okay, Carlos, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. We like this. Keep doing it.
The weather is getting really hot though. So it's a bit easier to actually go faster on the edge, but at the same time I'm overheating my right rear tire.
Sector 2 time is quick.
Here you see me doing some oversteer corrections, so the rear end is braking loose a tiny bit compared to before. Here once again on exit, and here on corner entry. I just corrected a little bit of corner entry oversteer as well, so the car is feeling very pointy right now, and I don't feel safe to push it to the limit as before. The engine is still below 120 Celsius.
Okay.
But it's getting pretty close, and I know that at 120 Celsius I can start to really damage it, maybe even blow the engine, so...
The gap to Rene behind is now 9.0 seconds.
I do have a 9-second lead. I'm not sure if I should start taking a little bit of a rest and driving a bit more smoothly and gently the car now. So this 9-second lead that I've built throughout the race, I can manage this gap and maybe even use a little bit of a lower setting on the engine. I'm going to see
Sector 3 times quick.
if I can use this to prevent the temperatures from rising.
AM2, red A, behind is now 8.7 seconds. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 1.
I'm starting to lose a little bit of time to the guy behind, but I'm preventing the engine from overheating, so
Sector 2 time is okay.
trying to do something that needs to be done.
Alright Carlos, you've got about 4 laps of fuel left. We're quickest at the moment. You're a tenth off the pace in sector 1. Red A, behind is pitting now.
Maybe I should be pitting too. Even when I had a lower full map setting, I was able to be the quickest driver on the track, so I'm still very confident. And I need to take off damage repairs because otherwise
Sector 2 time is quick.
I'll spend too much time in the pits with the 2 points of damage to repair. Maybe it won't be worth it since I'm able to just keep a pretty similar pace.
We estimate 3 laps of fuel left. Okay Carlos, the next car is 1 lap behind. Acknowledged, pit stop requested.
I think I'm going to the pits.
I think you'll be exiting the pits to clear air. We expect to exit the pits in position 1, a few seconds in front of red A. The pit crew is ready.
The pit crew is ready, is music to my ears. Here I can see this line and this is the road that leads to the pits. Right now I don't need to activate the pit limiter yet, but I can pin the car quite easily on this road. I had to practice this entrance offline, so at this point I activate the pit limiter.
What's your speed limit in the pits?
Pit box is right here, that's why I had to be fast editing the pit menu.
Go, go, go. Pit window closing in 2 minutes.
So I just did my mandatory pit stop and added a tiny bit of fuel. Let's see how quickly I can get out of the pits.
Your exit's clear. Watch the white line.
I need to be careful with the line to avoid a penalty for unsafe pit exit.
The guy in front is 1 lap behind.
I was hoping my temperatures will go down a bit, but the engine is still a bit higher than 110. I was able to gain time with my pit stop. Maybe
Pit window closes in 1 minute.
the guy in pit 2 Rene had some repairs done in the pit to the engine, or maybe he added a bit more fuel. To be honest, I forgot. Maybe I didn't even need to put 2 laps of fuel, but it was just so quick, and it's always better safe than sorry.
You got about 3 laps of fuel left.
3 laps for 2 minutes 20 seconds. I might be able to do 2 laps and finish the race with just 1 lap of fuel for my cooldown lap back into the garage. Wow, that was a bit scary. I almost had a moment of oversteer where the car will spin.
Behind is now 11 seconds.
11 seconds ahead, things are looking promising.
Okay, Carlos, the window is closed. 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
So the pits are closed right now. I've had races where I will get disqualified because I will forget to do the mandatory pit stop. Thankfully not this time. Pit 2 is 12 seconds behind
2
me.
laps of fuel remaining. We're currently setting the pace. Our last lap was at 1:14.20. Sector 1 is 0.28 off the pace.
Here I kept the car short shifted to prevent spinning. Instead of going to second gear, I kept third gear to add a bit more traction and slide a bit less the rear tires.
Sector 1 is quick.
I think the clock will end before this lap.
You've used half your fuel.
The engine is getting a bit hot, close to 120. This is going to be right on the limit of what this car can handle.
Sector 2 time is good.
I'm really happy with my performance in this Racecraft online race. I always lose focus before that very important braking zone when I get distracted about the engine, but I need to keep an eye on the oil temperature. And here it is, I'm winning this race and I'm sharing my thought process about all of the steps I did here with you guys.
Well done, Carlos. Great win. You deserved that today.
So I actually completed the race. I'm just going for another lap just to be sure. I'm quite happy that the car was able to handle these 30 minutes, because sometimes with these P3 cars, the car seems okay in 1 minute and on the next minute the engine is blowing up, the turbo is failing, all hell breaks loose, and the reliability of the car. Luckily I was able to pull away pretty quickly from the guys at the start, and I avoided fighting with them, getting damage. I avoided locking up and having flat spots on the tires as well. Unfortunately, one of these guys got a really bad penalty. So here I have the ratings, and I kept my safety rating, which I think was already pretty high, but I gained a bit of consistency and a bit of ELO, which is the ranking for the performance. So I'm going to watch. I have the fastest 100% score on this car track combo for the Racecraft Online right now. So I had one start on this series, but I had a DNF because I blew the engine. And now it's interesting that I got a bit of consistency and a bit of ratings back. So here it is, guys. I hope to see you guys on the Racecraft online platform, as well as sometimes low fuel motorsport when I can get clean racing there, and that we can see each other on track. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave your likes, comments and subscribe to the channel, and see you on the racetrack.